Regional Food Bank represents 23 counties. So our territory runs from just north of New York City to the Canadian border. We help feed 350,000 people a month. We have a big reach. And the sad part is that this place has to be that big. There's some misconception about the charitable food system, what kind of food we have, what kind of food we distribute. I think there's this misconception that, we deliver dented cans and ripped open boxes, are kind of left behind, food, and that's just not true. The food bank is very committed to providing the highest quality, most nutritious, most healthy food available, to people in need. And that's something that's super gratifying. Super gratifying for me when I go to a food pantry distribution or I go to one of our program distributions and I see food that's right from the farm. You see this farm fresh produce that, we see yogurt directly from the factory, in New York. These are food items that are fresher than people might be able to get in a grocery store even, because it's so direct.
I'm a third generation farmer. Farming's been in my blood. Back in the 70s, there was like 300 egg farms in this county. There was. In a matter of 10 years, there was like maybe 8 egg farms in the county. And then over a period of time, now we're the last remaining farm. We sell 90% of our eggs to restaurants in New York City. So when COVID hit, we lost all the business in the city. We got in big trouble. We heard, about the food bank. It's helped us out greatly. I think it's great what the food bank's doing. They're going for a good cause, and it's going back to the people of the state.
I pour my heart and soul into this every day. I do, no matter what. I even bring my son here. I have a 2.5-year-old, and he loves farming. He actually loves the chickens. He calls them ducks. They're not ducks, but it's just teaching them where the food comes from. In doing manual labor, it's okay nowadays to still do manual labor and work like this. It's okay, because this is how we feed the world.
In this area, as a community, as part of New York State, it is super important that we recognize individuals don't have really the resources to eat properly. Food deserts and the economic issues, we need to recognize that, make sure our seniors are fed, that children have access to nutritious food, and people aren't going to the local convenience store to prepare a meal.
I love it. I think it's wonderful what they're doing. I think it's very consoling to know that there's people out there that want to help you as you get on in your years.
Almost half the food we distribute is produce and vegetables. And we want to get that produce, those apples, we want to get them local. And so we're proud of all the work that we're doing in that area.
Farm work was sort of my after-school entertainment, and I grew to like it, and I went to Cornell to study pomology, which is the study of tree fruits, and decided to come back to the farm and really get serious in my generation of growing fresh apples. My whole life, and going back to my earlier family members, we had an interest to help feed the people of this world, even though it's a little tiny part, and supporting a facility like the food bank, which is assisting in that process of getting the food from us, the farmers, the food producers, to the people that need it, is just so nice to see.
Apples are dear to my heart. I love them, and our family's always been involved in apple production. The technology that we have now and the infrastructure we have now really allows us to keep a very fresh, good-tasting apple pretty much 12 months out of the year. So there's really no reason for our neighbors to be hungry. There's no reason for them to not have a high-quality apple. And if they don't have a high-quality apple, it's really up to us to figure out what's broken in the system and how can we get them a better quality eating apple. And then they're choosing something healthy, nature's toothbrush and all that. What better story could you have?
Started working at Brighter Choice about 10 years ago. It's the only all single gender female elementary school in Albany. We feed about 40 families, including we have about 6 Muslim girls on our program, and they don't eat any processed food. So through the food bank, we're able to get a lot of fresh produce for them and non-processed items that they're actually able to eat. We literally couldn't do it without the food bank. The cost of food, what it is now, there's no way that we could feed our families if we had to go shopping in a traditional grocery store. New cooler that they have is huge. They're able to keep things colder. The produce lasts longer, that we're noticing when we get it. And the guys that work on the dock are just phenomenal.
Right now, the produce have 100% capacity life on it. If I get it at 100% in the morning, I can open up the next day still at 100%.
I'm just really excited to feed people. It's being able to see families who are food secure and the consistency with that. It's not just, you know, before breaks or, you know, it's every single week. And so we're able to provide that food security for families who desperately need it on a consistent basis.
Gratefully, New York State, during the pandemic, they created the Nourish New York program, and we're really happy that that program's been made permanent. What we've realized, though, is that we need more money in the system. You know, we need more money so that we can buy more food. You know, people who have never needed the charitable food system are now relying on the charitable food system. It's just really tough for people in the world. There's just tough decisions that are being made. Rent's high. You know, people's medicines, you know, they're just making decisions and they're going without food. You know, families are struggling, kids are struggling. And I just don't understand that we live in this country of such mass wealth, how we can't feed everyone. And that's our mission here, is we really feel like everyone should have access to food and to the healthiest food. And that's something that we're 100% totally committed to here.